A story slipped embargo earlier this week, leaking Overwatch 2's newest character, Lifeweaver. Blizzard has since confirmed the character with a deep dive video and all the fanfare that includes, but the news did come alongside yet another controversial lawsuit settlement for Activision Blizzard. As reported by VGC's Tom Ivan, Blizzard was sued by the US Justice Department for suppressing esports wages. According to the filing, Blizzard enacted a, quote, competitive balance tax, unquote, which effectively put a salary cap on Overwatch League and Call of Duty League players, meaning teams were only allowed to offer players so much money, otherwise they would be penalized in some form by their respective leagues. This by nature is anti-competitive. Specifically, the filing states, this conduct had the purpose and effect of limiting competition between the teams in each league for esports players and suppressed esports players' wages. This conduct violates Section 1 of the Sherman Act and should be enjoined. In short, the US government felt something should be done to eradicate the tax and potentially penalize Activision. In a recent update, the Justice Department and Activision Blizzard have decided to settle without a courtroom judgment, but no terms or monetary payment from Activision detailed publicly at this time. Activision did release a long statement though, part of which reads, "We have always believed and still believe that the competitive balance tax was lawful, and it did not have an adverse impact on players' salaries. The tax was never levied, and the leagues voluntarily dropped it from our rules back in 2021. So it sounds like there wasn't any foul play here, being the rule was never actually enforced, but the fact that that kind of tax exists could have set the standard for Overwatch League players and Call of Duty League players from the outset. Remember, Overwatch League is not that old. In addition, it's kind of hard to just give Activision Blizzard the benefit of the doubt in almost any scenario now, so they got that going for them. As for the new Overwatch 2 character, Lifeweaver, the reception to his aesthetics has been largely positive, though many do weary of a significant potential for trolling. His abilities are influenced by his own invention, BioLight technology, which allows him to heal and build hard light constructs. Lore-wise, Lifeweaver, also known by his Thai nickname Bua, is on the run from the Vishkar Corporation, who believe the patent for BioLight belongs to them. In-game, Lifeweaver is a ranged healer and, like Mercy, has two primary fires. The first is a healing blossom that can be charged for bigger heals, and the second is a volley of thorns meant for emergency self-defense. Lifeweaver's secondary fire makes a pressure-sensitive platform that lifts into the air when anyone steps on it. Players can also time their jumps with the apex of the lift to get an extra boost. As for abilities, Lifeweaver has a dash, which is pretty standard fare, but also a more unique secondary skill that allows him to momentarily shield an ally and then pull them. Lastly, his ultimate ability is called Tree of Life, which, as you might have guessed, is a giant tree that pulses with healing energy. But the tree itself can also be used as cover or as a blockade. In an interview with PCGamesN, Overwatch lead hero designer Alec Dawson said, "The aim was to create another support hero that didn't rely on aim skill. Lifeweaver is designed for players that care a bit more about their own positioning, their game sense. Those are the skills they check on more than necessarily aim skill." Lifeweaver joins the roster as the 37th playable character and 9th support character in the franchise. He's the first character from Thailand in the game, as well as the first openly pansexual character in Overwatch on reveal. There are other queer characters in the series, but in the case of heroes like Tracer and Soldier 76, a lot of their identity was kind of sidelined in via comics and supplemental media after release. In this case, Lifeweaver will actually have voice lines and conversations in-game that better reflect who he is. Lifeweaver will be officially playable when Season 4 kicks off April 11th, but more details and a new trailer will drop Thursday, April 6th. That's tomorrow. It's cool to see more representation hit the Overwatch roster, but Activision Blizzard does continue to be one of the most controversial companies in the games industry. Recently, high praise of a Diablo 4 preview/beta period was also met with criticism from players who would like more accountability and an overall update on the various toxic work culture situations at the company following nearly 3 years now of lawsuits and reports, which have largely been overshadowed by Microsoft's ongoing battle to buy the company outright for over $67 billion. There are probably at least one or two other Activision Blizzard controversies we could dive into at any given time, but unfortunately that's all the time we have for today. Big thanks to Blizz and BK who helped me put this story together. You'll catch more of them later this week, and if you have no idea what I'm talking about, check out our recent Inside Gaming update video. I'll pin it to the top of the comments here. And speaking of comments, let us know if you're still playing Overwatch, and if not, what Blizzard would have to do to pull you back in. All right, that's it. Like I said, thank you so much for watching, and if you want more video game news and updates, stay tuned right here to Inside Gaming.